We're at the Arab International Cybersecurity Summit in Bahrain, and I'm here today with Juliette Wilcox from the Department of International Trade. Hi Juliette,
Hello.
Great to get an opportunity to speak to you. Now yesterday you gave a great presentation on the key insights. What's the main message from that?
Well, yesterday I drew on the UK cyber strategy for my presentation because the strategy focuses both on building a digitally prosperous UK, that whole of society approach, harnessing future technology, and then that international leadership, all of which is in the service of deterring and disrupting cyber attacks. But for me, industry and the power of a really strong industrial base is critical to all of this. You need to think about the focus on skills and training and education to build that powerful industry. The industry then is the innovative approach, is how do we think about the future technology and products and services that we'll need. That feeds into the society that we want to live and the advantages we want to take from having cyber as a gift as well as a risk. And then thinking about what you need to do globally in order to cooperate to make that happen through international standards or norms and behaviours. And then finally, there is risk out there, so how do we all work together, and how does industry help create those capabilities that make us feel secure and safe online? So our strategy is fantastic for thinking about all of these things and that whole approach. Our industry has to be completely at the heart of it. It's absolutely critical.
I love what you said, Juliette, about cyber being a gift as well as a risk. That's a really good message to get out there. This morning you were chair of a panel with the cyber leaders globally. So was there any common global cyber challenges?
Yeah, so this morning we were trying to focus on when you create your cybersecurity architecture, and particularly your agencies that are tasked with defending, what are the things that you need to think about to make that successful, and how do you know whether you've been successful? And we had some panelists from around the world who were at different stages, and you can look at international measures. So there's a global cybersecurity index that the ITU has that tries to assess what measures people have put in place through their legal frameworks or their collaboration and the way that they're trying to grow their capability. So we looked at how that has worked in practice, and the conclusion that we came to are things like having that legal and regulatory framework is really, really important. It helps you understand both your responsibilities and also your authorities about how you use your cyber security architecture and infrastructure. It talks about collaboration, and that comes out really strongly at all levels. So whether it's across your nation, between government departments, across society, with academia and industry, that level of collaboration, and then you expand it to the international stage. So how do you learn from your neighbours and create regional groupings that can test together, because cyber knows no boundaries. And then you need to think about your people and how do they help you become more resilient, and don't forget them, because they're the ones going to be working really hard when actually a cyber incident occurs. So how do you make sure you think about all of the factors that you need to build into that sort of future cyber capability, and everyone's got something to learn from each other, really.
And in your current role as the UK Cyber Ambassador, what's your main focus?
So I focus, and I'll try and be quick here, on 5 things. I work on a government-to-government level with governments around the world who are interested in buying UK cybersecurity expertise and products. So I focus on our ability to export our expertise, but often when you're looking at a really critical government infrastructure, they really need that government-to-government assurance and government to create that space to have very sensitive conversations. So I do that. But I also want our SMEs to grow from good to great. So we have a really powerful way of developing new and innovative industries to become the companies of the future. But actually what we need to say is, what is that path to grow and to scale that makes sure that you can continue to invest in yourself? And so the ability to create these partnerships to make sure they work with prime organisations, that they've got a pathway to export. So I do that. I look at cyber as both a horizontal and a vertical. So this is a stack of things that make up cybersecurity, but you must look at it across all of the different sectors, so healthcare and finance and transport and maritime. It doesn't really matter where. It has to run through that by design, so build it in. I look at it from the perspective of defence and how do we work, our militaries work together when they have cyber security needs, and they still must communicate, they must work well together in any situation, whether it's a conflict or even a peacekeeping situation. And then finally, I work across government, so look at where trade really makes a difference to our conversations in the UN, because it's all about industry understanding the future standards, whether it's about skills in society, whether it's about capacity building overseas. Where can our industry really feed into that? So yeah, those sort of 5 things are the things that I look at.
Juliette, thank you so much for giving us the time to interview you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's lovely to speak to you.